She made this one.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Word. Today we got another special guest today. We got Kyrie in the building.
What's up with y'all? What's up?
And then we
Yeah. Oh, my name is Kyle.
got, all right. And today we're gonna talk about pretty much about Kyrie. So like, first question is, you in college, right?
Yeah, I'm at Temple University.
All right. And what else you do?
So I'm the founder and CEO of Late Desired Paris. I'm also the founder and CEO of the Picasso Foundation. I'm starting up some other business ventures, but I ain't gonna talk about them right now.
Okay.
You
I heard that though. He go to Temple though.
Temple
Congratulations.
University.
Hold on, we
Thank
gotta,
you,
you
thank
feel
you,
me? He
thank
go to
you.
Temple.
Yeah.
But how you balance both that and being like a college a student at Temple?
So I'll be honest, balancing being a full-time entrepreneur and a college student all at the same time is like difficult. But mainly it takes like the right mindset. As long as you got the right mindset, you'll be fine. Like your mindset is everything. Balancing it, I gotta make sure I stay up on my mental health, eat right, make sure it. Sometimes I can't even say get enough sleep because I barely do that. But your mental health is everything with that.
So what made you want to do these things? Like do these businesses? Like you like clothing brand and all that?
So honestly, I'm gonna be honest. This stemmed from when I was younger. Entrepreneurship always been like something I was always like interested in. Like when I was younger, I would always find ways to like make some money, whether it was reselling something.
Yeah, hustle.
It was always some form of hustle, but what really made me like go full throttle with it and be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing is when I lost my big brother who was also an entrepreneur. He was the founder of Premier Band D. His name was Sakari Johnson. So after losing him, it made me like, I lost him. I went through all of the grieving and all of that, things like that. It took me some time to really get back on my feet. But once I got myself together, I said, yeah, this is what I'm going to do to be able to tell the world our story.
I like that. My condolences. And then I also want to ask, what does this brand mean?
So, Les Desires Paris in French is the root word is the root of to want. When I made this brand, I knew that my goal was solely to connect with people, inspire, because my brother, that's exactly what he did to me. He inspired me to reach new levels, to always, be a student, always want to grow, and just experience new things rather than what we see in our everyday environment, all the negative stuff. So I wanted to create something that had like some substantial meaning and actually meant something deeper than just a garment or whatever it is that I'm creating. So that the meaning of Les Desires Paris in French is the root word of to want, but everybody want is different. What everybody want is different. You might want to own a trucking company. You might want to own the doctor's office. Everybody, what they want is different. But for me, what Les Desires Paris strives to do is to connect with people and help them get one step closer, whether it's giving them game, some advice, and things like that, helping them learn, pointing them in different directions so that they'll be able to go get the game if we can't give them to them, and, providing them with outlets and things like that. So we push to inspire people to go after what it is they want in life, no matter what they going through right now, because we believe that today's circumstances don't determine tomorrow's outcome. And we also believe the statement that we say to everybody, follow your heart. Your heart tells you exactly what it is that you truly desire. So follow your heart to get to, your end goal, accomplish all your goals and things like that.
I like that.
What's your end goal of your what's your end goal of your business? Like what you want to accomplish?
So my end goal really is to have a big impact with my nonprofit. To me personally, I love I love making clothes. Like I love designing clothes. I love fashion. I'm real into it. But for me, what really matters to me is my community and impact that I have on, the young individuals that I'm around, I connect with, or, anybody that I just come in contact with, younger or older, it really doesn't matter. So my end goal is to really have a nonprofit that can, impact the environment, whether it's, where I'm from, just all over the world in a positive way. Push people to follow their dreams, chase their dreams, accomplish their goals, provide people with outlets when it's needed. People need to talk to people about things that they're going through sometimes. And, provide the people with a safe space amid all of the chaotic stuff that may be going on, around in your neighborhood. For some people, it may be in their household, and, they may need a safe space outside of their home. Everybody needs a safe space outside of their home. For some kids, it may be school. For some adults, it may be work or it might be in their car. But, everybody needs a safe space. So my end goal is to really have a safe space, with different branches of things that people need to, to thrive.
Okay.
Other thing is where do you see yourself in 5 years? Everybody asks that question.
I ain't gonna lie, I get this question a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't think about 5 years down the line, because 5 years to me is still like fresh. I think like 20, 30 years down the line where I see myself done. But I would for 5 years from now, I see myself still, laying the foundation for whatever business it is that I'm building. Whether it's the nonprofit, the clothing brand, or the other stuff that I'm getting into. I really see myself really working to lay the foundation to get this stuff off the ground for the next few years. So yeah.
Are you willing to help others that trying to start a clothing brand?
Oh, I'm always willing to help others to start a clothing brand, clothing brand or business in general. Right now, I started to create videos on my social media, on my Instagram, TikTok, and I'll be branching out to YouTube Shorts and things like that to really help individuals that may want to start a clothing brand. I'm giving them tools. And a foundation of how to get started. So how to figure out a name, things that you can use to design a product, how to source and manufacture, different materials to use, everything. Just the basics to, get yourself off the ground. Because I know for me, I had someone who was able to, give me these pieces and all the tools that I needed to start, or for me to see how you were able to manage and maintain a business, especially a clothing brand, which is difficult. And for others, they don't have somebody that may be able to give them these same tools. So I'm, pushing this out to the community, anybody who needs it.
But no, real rap though, he give me some game though. I
giving
told him about his lawn care joint I've been trying to start. He was giving me some game.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'll be dropping videos. If
Word,
it's not
I be seeing them joints sometimes. Yeah, I be seeing them
we
joints.
dropping videos all the time, giving out game.
Yeah. Let's see. What is your, I guess your philosophy, or what do you believe? I don't know how I say this, but what is your philosophy on success?
Success is, honestly, I think how I would define success is different for everybody. I feel like stuff like this is, success isn't having a mansion and a 16-car garage and things like that. Success to me is having an impact on my community, being able to take care of my family. So success is different for everybody. Everybody sees success as something different. Some people may see success as, I got 30 million in my bank account. I got a 18 bedroom house with 30 bathrooms, 16,000 square feet. That type of stuff to me is not needed. And I'd rather put my money, my time, my energy into impacting people, for while I'm here. That's what I see success. I'll say I'll think to myself all right, I feel like I'm successful when I'm able to have whatever it is that I build or, game I give to individuals, when I see them, take it, use it, and excel and get to, these realms that they want to be in, these places of whatever it is, success to them, get to a place of success that they would, where they believe is success, get to those places.
I like that.
Yeah, that's how I would define success for me.
I just had a question and just. Oh, college life. We're gonna talk about some college life. How that joint is?
Man, I'm be honest. College life, coming from a smaller high school, transitioning into college with thousands of students, like your class, your graduating class size won't be 300. No, it might be like 3,000-4,000. Like, it's a transition and there's a lot to take in. Like my first semester, it was a lot to take in. Like I'm walking on campus, I'm seeing thousands of students on campus at one time, and that's just who got class at that moment. I'm in classes with 70 people, going from a class size of 20. Got auditorium setting with 200 people and things like that. So college life is like, with that transition, you got to be able to take in a moment. But for me, being someone who's always able to like adapt quickly, I was able to adapt to that change, really quick. But for others, like advice that I would give to them is like really prepare yourself, because there's a difference once you step out of high school and get to college. You get to college, your professors won't be down your back. They won't be telling you, oh yeah, make sure you do this. Compared to, high school, your teachers, they might tell you every day until assignment due, and even afterwards. They'll make sure you do this assignment. It's due this day. All right, give y'all some extra time. No, like my first ever college course, my first day in class, had a professor put on the board the calendar. He showed us when the midterms was going to be, when the finals was going to be. We had a test every 7 days, exactly. Every 7 days, we had a test. And he said, all right, I don't need no introduction. Y'all can go in the syllabus, look at what the course is about, what I need from y'all and what to follow, the layout for the class. And, I'll get to know y'all as we go along. But we jump right into it. And, all I know is the first week of class, we doing introductory stuff. Like, we doing introductions, like getting to know each other, little icebreakers and things like that. I didn't get to see that. It was straight to work. My first week of college, I had papers due, like 6-page papers.
Word.
6-page papers. This semester I had a course that I just started taking. My first day in there, we had a quiz. First day sitting down, we had a quiz. Like, so making that transition, like, it's definitely a lot to take in. Like, but you just gotta be ready. Like, and listen to like anybody who may have went through college or experienced that. Listen to them, because it sounds cliche, but like for me, having like my old heads tell me like, oh yeah, when you get out of high school, this gonna happen and that's gonna happen. Like, I'm seeing it for myself. So coming from like being in the seat of like, man, nobody want to hear that right now, to actually watching it play out. Now it's like, I be like, oh my God, like they wasn't lying. Like, this stuff really happening. So like, listen, when somebody be trying to tell y'all something, even if everything don't stick, some stuff always gonna go on one ear and out the other. But like, try to take it as much as possible. Like, I had a gym teacher and a wrestling coach. His name was Coach McCabe. He, I believe, I'm not sure if he's still at the middle school, but in wrestling, he always say like when he be giving us advice and stuff like that, he will always speak on that is like giving advice to somebody is like throwing mud at a wall. Some stuff gonna stick, others gonna slide. But somebody trying to give you game and steer you in the right direction or prepare you for a next chapter in life. Try to take it as much as possible, because you might get to somewhere, or you might get in a situation and you might look back and be like, all right, now I know what to look out for, what to be aware of, because somebody done already put you on game. Like, all right, this is what you need to be aware of. When I was in this situation, I had to deal with this, and that. I had to worry about this. So yeah, when you get somebody telling you something, look, listen to them.
Word out.
All right, what classes you taking college?
So my first semester, I had to take straight gen eds.
Okay.
I had to take straight gen eds, and that was solely because I had literally the last orientation, and I did not know that it was earlier orientation dates. So when I got in there, I'm registering for classes. I'm looking through, all of the courses, and all of them are filled. And like what really surprised me when I was looking at all of these, so in there when you register for classes, it tell you the class size, how many people are on the wait list, and how many of the seats are taken. This class in there with 200 students. 200 students. Like so my first semester I took strictly gen eds. And for those classes I enjoyed them. Cause one of them, it was based on it was something called technology transformations, and we talked about how light bulbs work and all of this other stuff that was pertaining to technology that I wasn't really too familiar with, and it was good to be able to learn about that stuff. But for right now I'm getting more so into classes that's geared towards my major, which is entrepreneurship and innovation. And those courses, I got 2 business courses. One is leadership and organizational management, and the other one is legal and ethical reasoning in business. And they're both geared towards business. The legal and ethical reasoning in business one, that one is we study statutes, so it's kind of somewhat of a law class, but we study cases that businesses may have been through. Maybe somebody filed a lawsuit against a class action lawsuit against a business for something. And we study the case and go over should the business be held liable, or should they be held not liable. And for the other class, we go over things like business plans, how to maintain a successful business. The classes that are geared towards my major are way more interesting because I'm actually talking about things that could benefit me.
That's the last question, but I want to ask. This is probably, I don't know, basically summed up. What would be the most, or the advice that stuck with you the most? That someone ever told you.
All right. So I like to be transparent with with everybody, and I speak on this experience to really maybe it'll touch people and kind of steer them in the right direction. So all through, I'm gonna give a little backstory. So all throughout my years in school, I didn't think that I had to really put in too much work to get maximum effort, and I was doing really the bare minimum and getting maximum results, whether it was not studying, barely paying attention to the material in class, still passing with straight A's and things like that, and that was all the way up until I got to my senior year, and I got faced with an English teacher that I would never forget. This man, I would never forget him to this day. Me and this man are still in contact, and it was my AP English class. His name was Mr. Fisher, and I thought that I could do bare minimum and get maximum effort. In his class, every other class, I was doing all right. My grades was passing. It was just his one. So and I'll never forget. I had a 13 in his class at one time. I come into class thinking that I could just basically do whatever. I'm a senior. I'm about to get up out of here. No, he hit me with a reality check. I come in class smiling. Things like that, just doing whatever, and he'll be like, bro, you don't got nothing, smile at, you're not doing good right now, you need to get yourself together. And towards the middle of the year, he had a conversation with me and told me, yo, you need to get it together, you're not doing enough, you're not doing nothing at all, really. And that, from that point on, it was all right, I started to get myself together. I failed the first quarter of his class. The third quarter, I came out with a C or something. And we had a conversation at the end of the year where it was he told me, he was I'm gonna be honest, I appreciate your effort and you starting to get it together. He's but I'm gonna break the reality to you. He's you didn't do enough in the beginning for you to pass this class. I'm huh? And he told me, he's you a bright kid. He's like, but you know, you're not putting your knowledge in the right place, really. And he's like, you're not really seeing things for what it is. And he told me, he said, you'll always get out of life what you put in. Like, you'll always get out of something what you put in it. And that right there, like that experience that I had with that man and hearing that, it made me look at life totally different. Like, it made me look at things like totally different. From then on, I realized, like, whatever it is that I'm doing, I need to give 100%. I cannot be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I gotta be all in, and I gotta really lock in with it. And I had to really, like, you know, have a conversation with myself and tell myself, like, as I move on through chapters in life, and I move up in life, I need to shed old habits, you know, whether it might be something small that, you know, I might not look at it as like, oh, it may hold me back when I, you know, get to different places. But as you excel and you move up in life, you'll have to shed things, whether it's relationships, friendships, habits, materialistic things, whatever it is. And I had to realize, like, having that experience with him really made me, like, that's what really prepared me for the next chapter in my life, which was college. Because all through, you know, my years in school, no one really told me that I needed to really, really put the effort in to see results. And, you know, he hit me with that reality check, and I'm like, all right, it's game time. And still to this day, like, I tell him all the time. Like, I was just talking to him about 2 weeks ago, and I told him, you know, he was helping me with a paper of mine, but I told him, like, I really appreciate him for, you know, telling me that, and, you know, not just letting me just slip through the cracks, and giving me that experience, because that's something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you for watching this episode. We'll see y'all next week.